Papias, preserved by Eusebius, open quote, I shall not hesitate to set down for you, along with my interpretations, everything I carefully learned from the elders and carefully remembered, guaranteeing its truth. Ecclesiastical History 3.39.3, close quote, open quote. For I did not suppose that information from books would profit me so much as the utterances of a living and abiding voice. Ecclesiastical History 3.39.4, close quote, open quote. If anyone came who had followed the elders, I would inquire about the words of the elders, what Andrew or Peter said, or Philip, or Thomas, or James, or John, or Matthew, or any other of the Lord's disciples. Ecclesiastical History 339.4, close quote. Open quote. And what Aristion and John, the disciples of the Lord, say. Ecclesiastical History 3.39, close quote. Papias on Mark, preserved by Eusebius. Open quote. Mark, having become the interpreter of Peter, wrote accurately whatever he remembered of the things said or done by the Lord, though not in order. Ecclesiastical History 3.39.15, close quote, open quote. For he had one concern, to omit nothing that he heard and to falsify nothing. Ecclesiastical History 3.39.15, close quote. Papias on Matthew, preserved by Eusebius Scretion, open quote. Matthew composed the sayings of the Lord in the Hebrew language, and each one interpreted them as he was able. Ecclesiastical History 3.39.16, close quote. Irenaeus on Papias, open quote. Papias, a hearer of John and a companion of Polycarp, a man of ancient times. Against Heresies 533.4, close quote. Jerome on Papias, open quote. Papias, bishop of Hierapolis, a hearer of John, wrote 5 books of expositions of the sayings of the Lord, De Viris Illustribus 18, close quote. Polycrates of Ephesus, Johannine context, open quote. John, who leaned upon the Lord's breast. Polycarp of Smyrna, these all observed the true tradition. Ecclesiastical History 524.27, close quote. Marcionite, anti-Marcionite gospel prologues, Latin prologues preserving Marcionite era tradition, and prologue to Matthew. Open quote. Matthew published a gospel written in Hebrew in Judea, first for the Jews who believed. Prologue to Matthew, Latin, close quote. Prologue to Mark, open quote. Mark, the disciple and interpreter of Peter, wrote this gospel in Italy. Prologue to Mark, close quote. Prologue to Luke, open quote. Luke was a Syrian of Antioch, a physician by profession, a disciple of the apostles. Later he followed Paul until his martyrdom. Prologue to Luke, Latin, close quote. Prologue to John, open quote. The Gospel of John was revealed and given to the churches by John while he was still in the body, as Papias of Hierapolis, John's dear disciple, related. Prologue to John, close quote.